football. Arsenal 3, Manchester City 0. Maresca out. The Pep fall-off begins. Arsenal absolutely dominating Manchester City. In fact, the only thing Arsenal need to worry about is the Community Shield curse, because it's very rare, apparently, to win the Community Shield in the Premier League in the same season. But I don't know why that is. That seems very strange to me, but apparently it is true. I think the last team to do it was actually Man City in 2019. So apart from that, Arsenal don't really have much to worry about. They were the better team. I think it's going to be a very interesting Premier League season, but Arsenal look very good, and I think both these teams are going to be very active in the transfer window. But I think the impressive thing for me with Arsenal was, and the worrying thing about Man City, was the amount of chances Arsenal created and should have scored more, and the amount of chances Man City conceded and should have conceded more. They looked fluid. They looked focused, and obviously they are still missing some big players, Arsenal, and I think they'll still be active in the transfer window as well. Bruno Guimaraes slotted in perfectly. I think he could have slotted into Man City's midfield this summer, or Man United's midfield, or Chelsea's. Brilliant signing by Arsenal. And if the hunger is there and they can focus, then they will be hot favourites to win this Premier League. I think absolutely. They look, and I've got to say as well, as much as I think Odegaard was superb and man of the match, Raya made some massive saves. I thought Ben White played very well. And old Quantum of Solace on the wing, if that's how you pronounce his name, he looks very, 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 very good. And I think the impressive thing about him is that he came into this Arsenal side, this summer transfer window, with a very big reputation for creativity and goals output. And I've always felt with Arsenal, if there's one area of improvement that they need, Martinelli and Trossard I would always class as okay. But I could see Martinelli and Trossard playing for Brighton. In fact, Trossard did at one point. I think it looks like they've got a real big upgrade on that left-hand side. And, you know, when you win the league and you upgrade your team, that's the perfect thing. And I think, as we said, Bruno Guimaraes is an upgrade to that midfield. And this Solis lad looks like he's an upgrade on the left-hand side. So things looking positive for Arsenal. I always thought Mosquera played very well at centre-back, considering Saliba's going to be out for a bit. And this is what Arsenal have built. They've built this squad where players are out. Timber's still out. Ben White's in. Declan Rice didn't need to start. Lewis Skelly and Bruno Guimaraes did a good job. Huge competition for places at Arsenal. And as I said, I thought Odegaard was man of the match. Brilliant performance from him. Brilliant performance from Arsenal. And they could have scored more goals. And he's going to be second season syndrome. Many people say, I think Sir Alex Ferguson said it, Mourinho certainly said it in his documentary, it's one thing winning the Premier League, retaining it is actually harder, because when you win it, you've done it. And it's a different mentality to go and retain it, and everyone's trying to get at you because you're the champions. Even the press will not want Arsenal to win it. So they've got to get through that barrier. I think also the Champions League is really important. They've never won the European Cup or the Champions League, so it's very difficult to win the Premier League and the Champions League. So they've got to look at that. They've also got to look at fatigue, whereby it was very draining for Arsenal last season. We've also had a World Cup summer, and they do pick up injuries. So I wouldn't say it's a foregone conclusion that Arsenal are going to go and win the league, but they'll certainly be favourites. And, you know, they look very, very good. Very, very good indeed. As for Manchester City, look, I don't know what Arsenal did in pre-season. I don't know what Man City did in pre-season. This was my first look at them. Apparently Man City did quite well in pre-season, but I look at them, and the big thing is there's no Pep Guardiola. And, you know, for Man City, that's like when Sir Alex Ferguson left, or when Jurgen Klopp left Liverpool. Rodri probably won't be there and wasn't there today. That's like losing prime Roy Keane. Or prime Steven Gerrard. These are big. Man United didn't have that. We didn't lose Roy Keane and Sir Alex Ferguson at the same time. And Liverpool didn't use Gerrard and Klopp at the same time. There were different eras and different retirements. Man City are losing Rodri, who factually, when he doesn't play, their win ratio goes down massively. And Pep, who's their greatest manager they've ever had. So, look, you can't say that Man City are going to fall off and sack Maresca in 3 months because they've lost the game to Arsenal in the Community Shield. They actually did create some good chances. Raya played very, very well. But they did look a bit all over the place defensively, and they did concede a lot of chances. And this is not Pep Man City. And also Rodri. So I think it's excusable that Man City might struggle without Pep and Rodri. But then you look at their first 3 Premier League games, and I think it's like Bournemouth, Crystal Palace and Coventry, and you go, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that they find a way to win all those games, and they start to build. And I look at Liverpool and Iraola, and I'm absolutely convinced that it's going to take time. They're going to have to be patient. So why would it not be patience for Man City with Maresca? I think there has to be a level of patience there, because Pep and Rodri out is massive for them. And yet they still could be the challenger to Arsenal. I would still say they're going to be the challenger to Arsenal. So look, there is this tendency to overreact. And that's football. And we love it. But I wouldn't be writing Man City off too much yet. I mean, I think Arsenal are on a different level to them at the moment. But it's a long season. As I said, you know, different focuses, injuries. There's also 2 weeks left in the transfer window. And I think if you can add Boadi and Enzo Fernandez to that midfield, if Rodri goes, it makes it better. Obviously, Guehi didn't start the game. There are some players that Man City can bring in. And they've still got the best striker in the world with Harry Kane, Erling Haaland. So I think that Man City, sometimes a kick in the nuts at the start of the season can do you the world of good in the real season. So yeah, Man City looked miles off today and Arsenal looked fantastic. But it is a long season, and honestly, I don't even remember the score from last season's Community Shield final. I don't remember. I certainly don't remember the year before that, or the year before that, or the year before that. We remember this because it's happening in front of our face. I won't remember this scoreline at Christmas. So look, Arsenal looked fantastic. City looked off the pace. There's 2 weeks left in the transfer window. Arsenal are going to be favourites to win the league, but and look, maybe things are going to go bad for Man City.